Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady. In this video, I'm going to be giving a full match preview, a full prediction of the All-Ireland football semi-final between Dublin and Kerry, which will be taking place this weekend at Croke Park. I cannot wait for this one. These are the two best counties in Gaelic football. If you're talking All-Irelands, Kerry have 37, Dublin have 30. These are the top two, the two biggest teams in Gaelic football, and they are the two favourites for this year's All-Ireland title. The last championship meeting came in 2019. It was the All-Ireland final replay in which Dublin clinched the historic 5 in a row. Of course, Kerry's last win against Dublin came way back in 2009 when they ripped Dublin apart in Croke Park. They've had epic since, like the All-Ireland final in 2011 that saw Cluxton kick the winner, the All-Ireland semi-final of 2013, which is my personal favourite as the best game of Gaelic football that I've seen, and then the All-Ireland semi-final of 2016 was epic as well. The drama in the first game of the 2019 All-Ireland final was epic as well. These two, whenever they come together, it's fireworks left, right and centre, and I can't wait for this. Dublin v Kerry, full match prediction. But please, before I get into it, please like, subscribe, share, and comment, all that good stuff. It really helps us out. And let's crack into the video. So Dublin this year, obviously coming off the back of last season, losing that semi-final to Mayo, losing their unbeaten run. They followed it up in the worst possible way, getting relegated from Division 1, losing to Armagh, losing to Kerry, losing to Mayo, losing to Kildare, and losing to Monaghan on the final day to get relegated to Division 2 for the first time since 2007. Couldn't really have put it in a worse state of mind going into the championship. They rebounded though, beating Wexford by 124 to 4 points. They followed that up by beating Meath 127 to 114 and then crushing Kildare in the Leinster final by 517 to 115 to really reverse that league defeat back in the spring. Then they followed up by beating Cork in the All-Ireland quarter-final to make it 21 points to 10. So far in the championship, Dublin have been probably flawless. I mean, in terms of the goals they conceded to Kildare and Meath are the only blots really on their record. They've absolutely wiped the floor with everyone they played against, won yet another Leinster title. I mean, they haven't lost a game in Leinster since 2010. Overall, they've scored 7 goals and 89 points in the championship so far, with an average of 2 goals and 22 points per game. They've conceded 243 with an average of only 12 points. That is bizarre to consider that 222 to 12 points is the average scoreline for Dublin so far this season. It shows how far ahead they have been of the teams that they've played against. Of course, massive shout out to GAA statsman Matt Hurley for providing those stats. Their top scorer is Dean Rock with 126, Con O'Callaghan with 213, Costello with 27, Kieran Kilkenny with 19, and Brian Fenton with 10 points. Dublin have been performing better this season going forward in terms of their attacking ability, in terms of their ability. Their drive, the more punch in the attack. The game against Mayo last season was so bewildering because they just would not attack Mayo. It was like they were scared to go at them. And anytime we did, we got a score out of it, but there was just no effort to go at Mayo. And it really, really was a bad way to lose that game. But anyway, this season, Dublin are showing a lot more punch, a lot more zip in the attack. Lee Gannon, a cornerback, has been fantastic so far as well. He's been a great addition. But Dublin, their attack needs to fire again in this game against Kerry, which brings me on to Kerry. Kerry, like Dublin, have not had a finger laid on them so far in the championship. Their results, they have yet to concede a goal in Championship 2022. First, they beat Cork by 23 points to 11. Cork showed a good first 50 minutes in that game, but then fell apart rapidly coming towards the end of the game, and Kerry put them away. Then in the Munster final, Kerry won that by 128 to Limerick's 8 points, making it back-to-back Munster titles for Kerry. Then they won in the quarterfinal against Mayo by 118 to 13 points. So far this season, Sean O'Shea has been their top scorer with 19 points. Paul Gainey with 10, David Clifford with 17, Killian Spillane with 14, and Tom O'Sullivan comes up from cornerback a lot, and he has hit 6 points. Total scored, they've got 269 with an average of 122, and total conceded 32 points with an average of 11 points. So Kerry's average victory is 122 to 11 points. Dublin's average victory is 222 to 12 points. So very similar. Dublin, actually, in my opinion, have probably played, I would say, in total, you could argue Dublin have played the better teams. I mean, Meath, Kildare, compared to Cork and Limerick, I think it's equal enough there. Wexford, like Kerry haven't played any Division 4 teams, but no, both sides have been pretty, easily got to this stage. Mayo, you would have expected, would have put up a better fight against Kerry, but that just didn't materialise. So coming into this game, the key matchups, David Clifford is the obvious one for Kerry. He's the obvious one in terms of who Dublin will look to put someone on. David Clifford actually hasn't hit the height so far. He's only hit a goal on the point from play so far in the championship. He is carrying an injury, which is very obvious. I mean, in the Mayo game, he did look in discomfort for a long period of that game, yet he still hit the crucial goal. Who's going to mark David Clifford? So I actually would put Mick Fitzsimons on him. I think in that All-Ireland final of 2019, David Clifford ran amok in the first half with Johnny Cooper on him. And then the second half, Mick Fitzsimons went on him and kept him relatively quiet. In the 2020 league match, David Byrne had a run on him and Clifford scored that famous goal where he basically just put the head down, ran past David Byrne and stuck it in the net. So for me, it's Mick Fitzsimons to go on David Clifford. Paddy Clifford, I would put Lee Gannon on him. Lee Gannon is a fantastic young player, lots of energy, can buzz up and down the pitch in a similar way that Paddy Clifford does, and he's very comfortable going forward. He struck 4 points this season, so if Paddy Clifford decides to drop back, that suits Gannon down to the ground. Paul Gainey has been fantastic for Kerry, so I would put probably David Byrne on Paul Gainey. I think they match up pretty well. I would start David Byrne over Johnny Cooper. I think Paul Gainey more kind of suits a David Byrne to be marking him. Sean O'Shea, I would put James McCarthy on him. Try and put O'Shea on the back foot. McCarthy get running forward. Darren Moynihan, I would put an Owen Merchant on him. I would put John Small on Darren Moynihan, and I would put Owen Merchant on Stephen O'Brien to cope with the pace. On the flip side, if I was Kerry, I would put Tom O'Sullivan on Con O'Callaghan. I just think in terms of power, no one can really match Con, but pace, Tom O'Sullivan can match him. And if we can just keep him a little bit away from the goals, stop him scoring goals, I don't think Jason Foley is able for Con O'Callaghan. I really don't. Dean Rock, I would put Jason Foley on him. I think that's perfect for Foley to go on Dean Rock. I would put Brino Bjuglik. If he starts, I would put Brino Bjuglik on Cormac Costello. I think pace-wise, they match up quite well. I would put Paul Murphy on Kieran Kilkenny. Paul Murphy be good at following Kilkenny around. I would definitely start Murphy, by the way. And then I would put Gavin White on either one of Niall Scully, Sean Bugler, or Brian Howard, whoever starts there. And then Morley, I would let Tyke Morley keep sweeping and doing his thing. The midfield battle is so important. Brian Fenton has been superb for Dublin throughout the entire championship. He's been the go-to from kickouts. He has been partnered up with Tom Lahiff for the entire season. Kerry on the flip side, it was Dermot O'Connor and Jack Barry the whole way through. Now David Moran came back in the Mayo game. He did look a bit rusty, but he still hit 2 points and he looked relatively good. This game, I think they will probably start David Moran because when he hits peak form, he's massive. But Dermot O'Connor has been excellent for Kerry throughout the entire year. Jack Barry is always the go-to guy to go on to Brian Fenton. So I can see Jack Barry starting. And then I think it's a toss-up between David Moran and Dermot O'Connor. I think any two of those three is going to be what Kerry go with. I wouldn't even be surprised to see all three of them start. Maybe a Darren Moynihan drops out because he was quiet enough against Mayo. Because I think they will want to put Jack Barry on Fenton again, which is what I would do. Dublin on the flip side, Lahiff going up toe-to-toe with any of Dermot O'Connor and David Moran. I think Lahiff would do well there. I think he's been good so far this season. Who do I think is going to win? It's such a toss-up, honestly. Kerry have been flawless this season. They won the league quite convincingly. Every time Jack O'Connor has won the league with Kerry, he has then gone on to win the All-Ireland. Kerry, everything pointed to them from the start of the season. Everything pointed to Kerry and they backed it up. They were excellent throughout the league, won that league final so easily. And then they've smashed through the entire championship, not conceding a goal. And the highest score they've got was 13 points. And that was against Mayo, who made the Division 1 final and have been in back-to-back All-Ireland finals. So Mayo are no slouches and Kerry made them look like slouches. Kerry coming up against Dublin here. Of course, Mayo beat Dublin last year. it's such a difficult one to put your finger on where Dublin are at, because Dublin have smashed through everyone in a similar way that Kerry have. But like, Dublin were so bad in the league against everyone. And down in Killarney, Kerry beat them. And like, look, it's a tough place to go down in Kerry. Dublin haven't won there since 2013 in the league. So that's a tough spot to go. And Dublin teams in the past, like the 2019 team, have gone to Killarney and lost, and then they've ended up winning the All-Ireland by beating Kerry. So it's a really tough one to know. I don't want to be biased. I know I'm a Dublin man, and I will obviously want Dublin to win. I'm genuinely trying to look at it and say who is in the better spot here. Conor O'Callaghan, his fitness, he didn't play in the quarterfinal against Cork, and Dublin were so much better with him on the pitch. He gives the absolute focal point to the attack. Everything runs around Conor O'Callaghan. He's so important. He's exactly as important to Dublin as David Clifford is to Kerry. And I wonder, put it in the comments below, if you were a Dublin fan, would you take Con being gone if it meant David Clifford was being gone? And if you were a Kerry fan, would you take David Clifford being gone if it meant that Conor O'Callaghan was also gone? Because I think they are just as important to their teams as each other. I think Clifford, you could argue, is more skillful, but Con is so effective up front, and both of them are in my Ireland full forward line for sure. I think this game is the hardest one to call of the championship so far, without doubt. I think they are the two favourites for the All-Ireland. Controversially, I'm going to say Kerry. My heart is saying Dublin, but my head is saying Kerry. Since the start of the season, Kerry have been peddled as the All-Ireland champions in the future. They have been absolutely tipped by everybody, including myself, as Dublin's league campaign was just going up in smoke. I was just saying, look, Kerry, this is their year. It's, as Johnny Mack said, who was on the podcast there a few weeks ago, Kerry, time to stand up or shut up, because they've been banging on about this is the year for Kerry, this is the year for Kerry, this is the year for Kerry. They haven't beaten Dublin since 2009 in the championship, as I mentioned. They've had huge losses to Dublin, 2011, 2013, 2016, 2019. They've all been to Dublin. So they're going to be desperate to win this game. And I think this is the year where they finally break through. I really do. I think I said Kerry would win the All-Ireland at the start of the season, and I'm going to stick with my prediction. I'm going to go with Kerry, but just about. Like, I mean, I could see extra time penalties here again between Dublin and Kerry, because I think they're so evenly matched. David Clifford's fitness, Conor O'Callaghan's fitness. There's the unknowns as well. What if Brian Fenton pulls a hamstring in the first 10 minutes? What if David Moran gets sent off in the first 15 minutes? We don't know these things. So with a bit of rub of the green, I'm going to say Kerry to win this, but I hope Dublin do. As a Dublin man, of course, I want to see my team get to the final and win the All-Ireland again. But I'm so delighted that you can't for definite say that Dublin are going to win the All-Ireland, because, you know, the last few years, 2018 was the real standout of Dublin were obviously going to win that. There was no sense of jeopardy. This one is so hard to call, and I wouldn't be surprised if either team comes out on top, but this is just my honest opinion. That's the match review preview here, guys, on Play on GAA. The All-Ireland semi-final coming between Dublin and Kerry this weekend. I cannot wait. So, guys, make sure you check out the match review that will be here on Play on GAA and enjoy the game. That's the match preview. Take care.